Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA Analyst. A lot to get to, Reg. Let me hit you with the early poll question that we had. McLovin, you want to give Reg the first hour poll question?
First hour poll question. Whose career would you rather have, Robert Horry or Chris Webber?
Wow. Well, that is a tough one. That's a great question. I guess 7 championships kind of trumps everything, right? Is it 7 or 6? 7 championships?
7.
A lot of big shots for Robert Orry. But think about the culture change Chris Webber was a part of, being part of the Fab Five in Michigan, because you're encompassing the whole career, right? Not just NBA.
Yeah, college too.
I like C. Webb's career. Obviously, he doesn't have a championship to back it up, but a hell of a career for C. Webb. You could not go wrong with either or. But 7 championship ring, that's hard to turn down. That's hard.
Would you rather have Robert Horry's career or yours?
Taking mine.
Okay, all right. I'm
taking mine. I know I don't have any chips to show for it, but it was all about the struggle for me. All about the struggle to win one. And I will never change my career for anyone's, because to me, that's what it was all about.
Now, is Robert Horry a Hall of Famer?
Yes, I really do believe so.
Really?
And if you think about it, you could take away a chip from Tim Duncan, and you probably could take a chip away from Kobe if it wasn't for the fact of big shots by Robert Horry. I do believe he's a Hall of Famer. And if you look at some of the guys that are currently getting in that don't have gaudy numbers, I mean, Ben Wallace was a great defender, but he doesn't have gaudy numbers. Ben Wallace is going in this year. Dikembe Mutombo, great defensive player of the year, but not gaudy numbers, in the Hall of Fame. Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, as much as I like Ben, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, Ben Wallace. I think he was a really good player. He was a key player for, some good teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see him as a Hall of Famer. No, I don't. Chris Bosh was a wonderful player in Toronto. He was the third person in Miami. I know health issues, but he was second team All NBA one time, and that's it. I don't know how we judge, and maybe my bar is too high here, Reg, when it comes to the Hall of Fame, but I don't know. I don't want to apologize for being kind of tough on, the requirements. I don't want to demean Ben Wallace. Dikembe, you want to put him in the Hall of Fame, you want to put Ben in there, Boston, I mean, that's fine. I guess I just trying to understand the criteria here.
I think the criteria you're thinking about is in terms of other Hall of Fames, because it's very difficult to get into Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame. Very tough to get into the NFL. I think the NBA criteria of getting in is not as high. And I think they do encompass a person's body of work going back to college too. So I think when I look at Ben Wallace's career, again, not gaudy numbers, but was on great teams, championship teams in Detroit. He was the head of the snake defensively for that team. He was a couple times Defensive Player of the Year, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he deserves. Now, again, I've gone against these guys head to head, so I'm a little biased because I've seen their body of work up close.
But is Derek Fisher a Hall of Famer?
No.
He's got 5 titles. Five titles. He's played in more playoff games than anybody in NBA history. He's got 2,500 more points than Robert Horry does. Made some big shots.
Yes.
So I don't know. I just throw that out there. Out there. Steve Kerr's going into the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Well, man, he's got
coach and player.
Basketball. He's got 8 rings.
Yeah, right? I think so. Right, 5
as a player, 3 as a coach.
He's going in as a Hall of Famer combination.
As a coach, he's going into Hall of Famer as a coach.
Yeah.
As a coach, he'll go in as a Hall of Famer. He probably won't go in as a player.
But they would just say Steve Kerr, Hall of Famer. But they would designate him as a coach going into the Hall of Fame.
I think he will go in as I think he'll go in as a coach, but he's still a Hall of Famer, whether you're a coach or a player.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
you're in the Hall of Fame as a media member.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know.
You're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I know. If you could start your team with Kobe, Duncan, KG.
What era, what rules?
1995.
Tim Duncan.
Okay. I said the same thing. 2015.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Kobe would learn to, well, yes. He's a student of the game. He's going to learn to be great in today's NBA. Would he be a volume three-point shooter?
Kobe?
Yeah.
I thought he was a great shooter anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would be a volume scorer. Because I don't want to label him as a shooter because Kobe can give you buckets. So he would be a volume scorer, as very much as he was throughout his career.
Better in-game dunker, Kobe or Jordan?
Jordan.
Man, I looked at some highlights of Kobe.
Yeah. I would say this. Kobe was probably more artistic because he had the great reverse dunks that Jordan never had. But Jordan used to embarrass you on some of them dunks. That, to me, the all-time classic Jordan dunk is the one against the Knicks in the Garden when he's going baseline, fakes the other way, and then continues to go baseline and just pipes on, I don't know if that's Patrick or I don't know who. It looked like all of the New York Knicks. That's probably my best dunk ever of Michael Jordan.
Did Jordan ever get you?
Well, I was guarding him, so he blew by me into the Davis boys and Rick Smith. So I was never under there waiting for him. So I got the wrath of it from Dale and Antonio. Like, Reg, keep them in front of you. I'm like, I'm sending them to hell. You're my help.
See, you never got posterized because you weren't the guy who was going up to try to block, right?
Absolutely not. I was smart enough. That's their job, is to protect the rim, not mine.
Did you posterize anybody with a dunk?
I'm sure there's someone I got. I'm sure there has to be someone I got.
You should remember, like a two-hander down the lane.
Against the Knicks, yes. McLovin, Seton, look it up. Against the Knicks in the playoffs, I did. I got Charles Oakley and Charles Smith. I did. I got them in the playoffs.
They must have.
Hold up. Yes, I did. Against the Nets, the New Jersey Nets, in the overtime game, my last year, or second to last year, that sent the game to overtime. I dunked on the whole Nets team. It's the most famous dunk of mine ever. It's my last dunk, actually.
Yeah, Paulie.
Yeah, he dunked right in Kmart's mug. Kenyon Martin was trying to.
Yes. Thank you.
Do you think that they had to be so surprised? They're like, this dude ain't jumping. Like Kerry Kittles is going, this guy can't jump.
Hold up. I was just as surprised. I couldn't believe I was up that high.
You should see Jason Kidd's face. He's like, what? What did Reg just do?
Hey, I will tell you this. When I started to go up, I heard the theme. music. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I'm telling you, that's how I felt when I was going up.
You're holding on to the rim. You've never been up that high before.
Hey, and what's funny about that, Mark Jackson was at the game just to come watch us play. And I remember after the dunk and the timeout, and I'm walking back to the bench, and his seats were kind of behind our bench. And I'm walking, and he's just shaking his head. I'm giving him one of these looks like, you remember this. You remember this, Mark. It was hilarious.
He's Reggie Miller, the Hall of Famer. How concerned would you be if you're the Lakers with Steph Curry here?
That is a nuclear bomb that can go off at any time. Look, let's face it, the Lakers are the better team. They're the bigger team. championship experience, but so do Golden State Warriors. But Steph Curry, the way he has played all season, and especially the last 2 months, he can explode. And in a one-game series, if he gets hot, look, I will say this for the Lakers. They have a lot of wing defenders that they're going to throw at him. Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Caruso will get some time on him. And if need be, LeBron James, if it's, last possession of the possible game. So it's the Lakers to lose. They should win it, but Steph scares me.
The Lakers do well against Steph. They're two teams that seem to do well. Clippers and Lakers do well. They have length, and I think, I'm going to let whoever, we're going to pick somebody. If that guy gets 30, 35, fine.
Right.
I can't let Steph have, over 35. I can't. And then if it's the other guys who beat us, okay. But I'm not going to – I'm going to make sure Steph has to give the ball up a little bit.
And, for the Lakers, too, when Anthony Davis was in New Orleans, he used to dominate Golden State during the playoffs. And I just don't think they have a matchup for him. As great as Draymond Green is, he has given up 6 or 7 inches and a lot of length going against AD. So AD should have a field day versus Golden State. But I just don't think they have enough scoring unless Wiggins reverts back and gives them 25 or 30. Jordan Poole has played great coming off the bench for them, had a career high, I believe, 38 a few games ago. I just don't think they can generate enough scoring against the number 1 rated defensive team in the Lakers.
But looking at the Lakers, it feels like if you don't get them early, then you're in trouble. Because I think once they get back into the rhythm here, then they're going to be less vulnerable here. Do you feel that way, or do you think the health of LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to be sort of a cloud hanging over this team, the entire postseason?
I think it's always going to be a question mark. We just saw within the last 5 minutes of that Pelicans game a little bit of a tweak to the ankle of LeBron. Now, Coach Vogel came out and said he's okay, he's good to go. But what else is he going to say? Oh, he turned his ankle again. So he's got to put that out. I think health and concern will always follow these Lakers throughout these playoffs. But it's funny how teams in the Western Conference were kind of dodging a little bit.
Oh boy!
Not to fall in the Lakers' path.
Denver did it. The Clippers did it.
The Clippers did it. But I will say this: I feel bad for Phoenix because Phoenix is, great year. Chris Paul is an MVP candidate. Devin Booker has been ridiculous. Monty Williams will probably win Coach of the Year. And how are you rewarded? You've had the best record, a resurgence in the Valley of the Sun, and you were rewarded by playing the world champs, possibly, knock on wood, in the first round. Come on.
Who else is dangerous?
In the West or just in general?
Just in general. Just say, hey, here's a team that just keep an eye on.
Health, if they're healthy, and this is a scary first-round matchup in the East, how did Milwaukee draw Miami? Miami ousted them last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They know how to play Giannis. Now, to Milwaukee's credit, I think they've done a great job of going out and getting some pieces. I think that will help them. Getting Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker, 2 tough guys, 2 defensive-minded guys that are going to help Giannis in the playoffs. But Miami is a team that has championship aspirations. We saw them get to the finals. If they can find that shooting touch, because their defense has been really good. Bam has been playing great. Jimmy Butler has to stay healthy. He's been up and down all year with health. But when he's right, when those shooters are right, Hero and Duncan, this is a scary team to watch. It's almost a pick'em series for me. I know Milwaukee's the 3rd seed, but to me, that's a pick'em series.
If you did your MVP vote today, who would get it?
I'm voting for Steph.
Oh, okay.
I know Jokic will win, and rightfully so. He's played every game. and he's had unbelievable numbers. He'll win it. But my MVP, no one expected Golden State, when they heard the news that Clay tore his Achilles, that they were going to be in this position. And think about, other than Draymond, I know Wiggins is good. Kelly Oubre got off to, who else is on this team?
Bazemore. I know.
Your number 2 pick, Wiseman, went down about a month and a half ago. So Steve Kerr has found ways to patchwork this team, and now they're in the play-in game. He is my MVP. His last 2 months have been ridiculous. That's ridiculous what he's done. That's the video game.
If you could have Robert Horry's career or Steve Nash's career?
Steve Nash, 2-time MVP.
Yeah.
Kind of changed the game. I'm going to go with Steve Nash.
Yeah, that was my pick.
I know championships are great. Don't get me wrong. But to be a baller and to be the best player on a team and to be the leader and to be a face of a nation too, and with Canada too, for a long while, I'm taking Steve Nash.
Okay. Robert Horry, Vince Carter.
Ooh. Now I might have to go with Robert Orry. But half man, half amazing. He started the basketball revolution along with Steve Nash for Canada when he was up in Toronto. But 7 chips. Robert Orry needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I know, I get where you're going. Robert Orry needs to be in the Hall of Fame, Theodore.
Man, but okay, Iverson, Robert Horry.
Oh, come on, stop it. Iverson.
Why?
I mean, that's easy. He's a cult hero.
That's true.
He is a cult hero. He's like Shaq, Wilt, Steph, Jordan. They change things. They change the culture of things, the way we perceive things. I'm going with AI.
I'll leave you with this. How much of you wanted to hear Kobe give that speech Saturday?
Well, we heard Jordan's speech, right? When he went, he took names and went after guys.
Yeah.
I think we would have seen kind of the same thing.
You think he would have roasted the audience?
Yes. And then some.
See, I thought he would have roasted KG and Duncan.
I think he probably would have told a story about MJ too, because I'm sure he would have asked MJ to stand up for him as well. And just see them side by side, because they will forever be linked, because they are the 2 best shooting guards this game has ever seen. And just to see them side by side would have been really cool, because of how much Kobe looked up to his airness. But Vanessa was fantastic.
Oh my God.
I don't know how. I don't know how she does it. How she did it at the memorial at Staples, that was too soon for me. And then she was fantastic.
I got more emotional than she did. Like, she held her composure, and I'm going, oh man, this is hitting me hard. Really is.
It's tough. It really is, because I'm glad we're starting to get a sense and see how Kobe was away from the court, and we're getting a better glimpse of that, because all we see was win, win, win by any means necessary, go right through you, and rightfully so, because, having played against him, that's how he was. But I kind of knew Kobe away from the court, and how Vanessa and the family have kind of made him more human has been fantastic, along with Gigi. I mean, just great. Absolutely great.
Great to talk to you, bud.
You're always the best, Theodore.
We'll talk soon. Once again, you would have your career over Robert Horry's, right?
Yeah. I love you, Big Shot, but you're getting this and this. I have big shots too. I just don't have these. I don't have these, but I can go big shot for big shot with you. Okay. But can I have one of these?
You're a better shooter than Robert Horry?
Man, come on. Stop it.
Stop
it.
Like a stand still, kick out Robert Horry You.
Put it to you like this. He would come to me for shooting tips. Okay?
And
He's coming to me for shooting tips.
There's a lot of guys who would. Thank you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
You're the best, Theodore. Love you, Dan.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III. We're back after this in the Dan Patrick Show.